Hi, my name is Mr. Joseph. I'm going to read a poem today, a very famous poem known as Chicago by the poet Carl Sandburg. This poem was written just a little over 100 years ago in the year 1914. And what I'd like to point out about this poem, what I'd like to work on with this poem, is that this poem uses many of the techniques that other poems use, although it doesn't use rhyme. It uses rhythm and alliteration and imagery, which are all important. Each one is worthy of a lesson for itself. But what I find interesting about this poem is it's very well organized. It's organized really like a little essay. It begins with an introduction. It discusses some of the negative aspects of Chicago, and it discusses some of the positive aspects, some of the things that the poet liked about Chicago. And so I'm just going to read the poem out loud, and then we're going to use the markup tools that are on the screen here in this app called DocHub, and we're just going to identify the different parts of this essay, which was written in poetry form. Chicago by Carl Sandburg. Hog butcher for the world, toolmaker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads in the nation's freight handbook, stormy, husky, rolling, city of the big shoulders. They tell me you are wicked, and I believe them, for I have seen your painted women under the gas lamps, luring the farm boys. And they tell me you are crooked, and I answer, yes, it is true. I have seen the gunmen kill and go free to kill again. And they tell me you are brutal. My reply is, on the faces of women and children, I have seen the marks of wanton hunger. And having answered so, I turn once more to those who sneer at this my city, and I give them back the sneer and say to them, come and show me another city with lifted heads, singing so proud, to be alive and coarse and strong and cunning, flinging magnetic curses amid the toil of piling job on job. Here is a tall, bold slugger, set vivid against the little soft cities, fierce as a dog with tongue lapping for action, cunning as a savage, pitted against the wilderness, bare-headed, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding, under the smoke, dust all over his mouth, laughing with white teeth, under the terrible burden of destiny, laughing as a young man laughs, laughing even as an ignorant fighter laughs, who has never lost a battle, bragging and laughing, and under his wrist is the pulse, and under his ribs, the heart of the people, laughing, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of youth, half naked, sweating, proud to be hog butcher, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, and freight handler to the nation. That's the poem. And let's take a few minutes and just identify the different sections as if it were an essay. We don't have to worry about whether we understood every last word, but we want to see what is the basic structure. And so it begins with an introduction. And I think it's fairly obvious that the introduction is this first stanza. So we're going to get this draw freehand tool. Okay, we're going to go like this. We're going to write, we're going to make a little text box over here. We're going to write introduction. And now, negative aspects. Let's see where the poet talks about some negative things. Painted women under the gas lamps, luring the farm boys. Gunmen kill and go free to kill again. On the faces of women and children, I have seen the masks, the mark of wanton hunger. People are hungry from poverty. Here, it seems to switch. And having answered so, I turn once more to those who sneer at my city, and I give them back the sneer and say to them, so at this point, he seems to now talk about what he likes. So from here to here, let's go back to our drawing tool. From here to here, we have the negative. Make a little text box over here. Negative aspects. And the rest of the poem, he talks about what he likes. He likes that Chicago has a lifted head, singing proud to be alive and coarse and strong and cunning. It can do job upon job. It is fierce. It is shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding, laughing. It's a very lively, busy city. And so we use the freehand drawing tool to go from here to the end. And this is positive aspects, or at least aspects that the poet respects. Now that we've done this, we are ready for another activity or another lesson, which would be to write an essay in which we analyze the poem, in which we point out what are the different parts and summarize what each part is about and give examples which show what each part is about.